Hello there, and welcome to Perficient Digital's Video on Demand series, focused on key aspects of digital marketing and strategy, tied with how Perficient Digital and Sitecore can provide you the complete unified platform to help achieve your strategic goals. My name is Rick Bauer, and I am a Sitecore Digital Strategist MVP. In this series, I, along with a select Perficient colleague, will focus on the necessary marketing strategy pillars you must consider for success, followed by the best practice solutions provided within the Sitecore Customer Experience Platform, or CXP. This is Episode 1, High-Level Strategic Considerations and an Intro to Sitecore. Future episodes will dive into some of the details around digital marketing strategy, but to set the stage and put us on the right path, let's start with Perficient Digital's Creative Services Agency Director, Lisa Richardson. I'm excited to have Lisa help kick off this entire series. She is an expert in the realm of digital strategy and the exact right person to get us started. Welcome, Lisa.
Well, thanks for that. So yeah, I'm Lisa Richardson. I lead our strategy and research group across the Perficient Digital organization, and I'm excited to be here talking about the important things you need to consider when you're planning for a redesign or replatform. It's really important to ask yourself some key questions about your site, primarily who uses it, what will be required long-term for your organization to maintain it. It may seem obvious, but it's surprising how overlooked a simple discussion around the role of your website and the role that it plays in your larger marketing organization. It's something that companies often overlook. The website used to kind of be the domain of the e-commerce and the marketing team, but increasingly it plays a broader role in the company's overall business and brand experience. So before you explore ways you want to evolve the experience or migrate platforms, you need to know how your site and its many tentacles need to support the business. So the first question, the one that I think you should always start out with is, who uses your site? What do you know about the people that use your site currently? How does that align actually with your broader customer base? Is that in sync? Is there a part of your customer base that doesn't use the site at all, and maybe why? But definitely think about how those users today are similar, how they're different. Many sites need to support users that do very different, almost night and day sorts of things on the site. So you want to plan for that as you're thinking about the new experience and the new platform that would be right for you. So how will you support both of those users with one experience? Also, you want to think about how much do you know about them each time they visit. That's an important thing to consider. What degree of knowledge do you have about each individual visitor? That can have a major impact on the kind of experience you're able to offer and, importantly, the kind of platform that you choose and what sort of engine you'll need to power the site and the experience. Secondly, you want to definitely think about what the visitors do. So users that come to the site today, look at the current site behavior, understand where they come from, what sources drive traffic to the site today. Even think about things like keywords. What keywords are they searching and what can that tell you about who they are and what they need to do? Also, think about, what kind of information you can get in terms of understanding and filling in those gaps with things like heat mapping or site surveys so that you can really understand redesign or pre-migration, what you need to think about that isn't just in those user paths or those click paths themselves. Think about satisfaction and overall usage. So who are those visitors? What are they doing today? But then don't just stop at what they're doing today. Think a lot about what you want them to do in the future. So once you've explored how well things are working today or where things aren't working well today, really start to open your mind up and think about what you want the site to be able to do in the future. How could the site support other churn in the organization? Where are the ways that it could reduce some of that churn across the larger organization? What are some of the services that are offered across the business today that aren't digital but could be in the future? It's a really important thing to think about as you're planning for a new experience, but also a new platform. What sort of education, self-service, or even some companies who don't offer commerce, what are small steps towards commerce that could be offered in the new site experience? Those future features are really key to making sure that you understand not only what the beautiful design can look like and how you can help navigate a user through the new experience, but really in terms of making sure you understand platform requirements and making sure you choose the right tool for the business. So thinking about the structure and the design and the user friendliness, but also thinking about the kind of engine you need powering the site. So think about things like what are some of the top areas and sections used. Think about other ways you would want people to navigate through the experiences that map to what you want them to do in the future. So ask yourself those sorts of questions, and also start to think about what kind of features are going to be important now and then in a couple years from now. It's also important to think about the marketing activity that your site will need to support. Think about how many initiatives do you have each year? How personalized are they? Are they just kind of a batch blast, or are they something where you'll want geographical or personalized messages that will be tailored to the user or to different regions? Think about how often the content will need to be updated in support of marketing. So different departments within the organization will rely on the site. How can you make sure you've thought about what they will need and how they will measure success? You also want to make sure you think about the role that the site will play in growing your overall customer base, or finding new employees, or driving the overall equity of your in your category. So think about the other things the site will need to do outside of just supporting the current users. Think about how it needs to support the business. Another critical thing is think about if the site is collecting leads, understand where the leads will go within the organization, what needs to be tracked. A lot of industries actually don't have visibility into that final sale or transaction or that final touch on the lead. So make sure you understand how you're going to plan for that in the experience too. What sort of attribution you need to understand, what sort of tracking you'll need to have. So think about that. Even if it's things that are happening once someone leaves the site, you want to plan for that when you're thinking about the site experience. Also, you want to think about and really spend some time within your organization talking about how the site is managed today. Sites have become increasingly more complex, involve more departments in the organization. So think about how content and maintenance is currently handled within the organization. When you're thinking about a redesign or a platform that can have major impact on those groups within the organization, so think about that. So that means you need to not only think about the content on the site, but you need to think about how much of that is evergreen and pretty static and won't need to change, maybe on an annual basis, but not very regular, and how much of that needs to be flexible. And flexible either in terms of easy to update and maintain, or swap out an image or add new copy, or also think about how much of that needs to be flexible because there needs to be some personalization or some dynamic content creation. So think about that and understand the percentages of those two things. Also discuss the content workflow and make sure you consider what will need to be adjusted, or how actually some of the tools or the technologies you may be shifting to may actually improve your content workflow and management. So understand the typical cadence of updates, not just in terms of content, but also think about how new features are rolled out or enhancements will need to be rolled out. So make sure you've talked and explored how the site is managed today, and dig into things like who are the site admins and content managers, and what do you want them to be able to do? Is that just what they do today, or are there new things you need them to be able to do? Also, make sure you understand and you guys talk as an organization about what degree of personalization exists today, and will that just carry forward, or are there hopes and plans for bigger dreams of personalization moving forward? And those discussions can easily shift into, and should, the future requirements as you think about the new experience and the new platform. So this is where I think a lot of organizations will take some shortcuts, or maybe try to expedite this part of the process. Is a really critical part to start to think about who will be the authors of the content, who will edit the content, what is their comfort level working within a CMS? Have they ever worked within a CMS? What do we need to know about them? I think organizations should understand those content authors just as well as they understand their users on the site. They're important people to make sure the experience works the way you want it to. So understand what are their roles, what kind of access will they need to have, how are they going to work in the CMS, and again, think again about workflow and how you need to make sure you ensure the quality is still there and the right checks are still in place. These kinds of questions about who the authors are often have a big impact on the kind of platform you choose. There are big differences in terms of how platforms support different degrees of comfort level with the user, the actual content authors, and they also have a big impact on how much configuration you may want to do, how much time you want to spend in the actual content modeling and setting up the platform to be as turnkey as possible. Some teams may not need that much handholding, and other organizations are going to need things to be a little bit more unbreakable, so to speak, in the CMS. So whether it's a full redesign or some version of a lift and shift, there's always work to be done around that content mapping and the actual loading of content into the new tool. So talk about how this will be done and plan for it, and make sure that there's the right training in place to support not only making sure you choose the right CMS, but also thinking about the right level of support people will need in learning how to use it and making sure it can do everything you want. And then lastly, don't just stop at planning for how the site will be managed and how the experience will be managed today and based on what you can deliver today. You really want to think about, especially making a big investment in a redesign or a replatform, think about what you want the site to do in the next 2 to 3 years. Make sure you plan for new services and solutions and how they will be integrated, and get that roadmap in place. Even if you're not able to activate on it today, make sure you understand how it will influence the experience moving forward. Because ultimately, the best site, the best brand experience is designed to not only deliver an amazingly useful experience to its users, it grows with the business, it supports the entire organization's ability to learn and better service its customers.
Thank you again, Lisa. These are key considerations, and your insights around strategy and research are invaluable. Replatforming or upgrading is no simple feat, as you can see. The considerations are many. My goal here is to help ease the stress of one of the biggest decisions you need to make, and that is, what platform? Today's digital marketers are tasked with more than just managing content on a website. You need to be able to reach across all channels, connect the dots across data points, improve customer satisfaction, and increase conversions, not to mention using connected data to constantly improve these interactions over ever-evolving touchpoints. Sitecore Experience Platform version 9 is the one cohesive, scalable, and secure content marketing platform that can connect to any and all data sources, provide complete governance and control over content, allow marketers the agility to react quickly to their customers' needs, and continually improve their journey through analytics and machine learning. Sitecore 9 is not a patchwork of multiple solutions. It is one connected toolset built from the ground up to provide intuitive, full-featured CMS and CXP marketing out of the box, with the ability to connect and expand with your enterprise using a powerful X-Connect integration layer. This is why Sitecore is the one cohesive marketing solution in the Gartner Leadership Quadrant for CXP. Sitecore Experience Cloud connects across all channels and all of your business systems to deliver a holistic picture of your customer in real time. Plus, with the X-Connect integration layer, Sitecore can exchange data with external business systems like CRM, ERP, and PIM. Do you need to track conversions against a specific product and campaign across channels? Does your sales team need visibility in the CRM into when key customers interact with a new campaign? Based on these interactions, do you want to automate a follow-up, personalize some content, and update the customer status across all systems? With Sitecore's analytics and powerful marketing tools available out of the box, you and your team can set goals and engagement value scoring, test content at the component or page level, personalize content at a component level, build custom forms, and set in place mature marketing automation programs, all without the need to constantly go back to your IT or development teams. With a component-based architecture, your team can create and edit content by working on pieces of a page. This provides a focused, collaborative content environment that can be governed through access roles and workflow sequences, making sure your authors are comfortable and that content is controlled before going live. A full set of governance controls allows you to set up roles and assign users to those roles, secure sections of a site or even full sites on a multi-tenant environment, secure down to the component or application, provide multiple custom workflows for proper approval throughout, and this is all out-of-the-box functionality. This also means you can confidently test or personalize multiple components on the same page or over several pages. This personalization can be tied to goals, engagement value, and specific campaigns and/or channels. All of this information is captured in Sitecore Analytics. Then, utilizing Sitecore's Cortex, your team can take advantage of the power of machine learning to accelerate improved customer journeys. As your organization grows, Sitecore will continue to extend to your needs. Before even getting to the likes of machine learning, Perficient Digital's Sitecore team can help continue to add functionality by connecting more systems through the X-Connect integration layer. If you outgrow the robust media library in Sitecore, consider connecting a PIM or asset management system. For your content authors, add Sitecore SXA, Sitecore's Experience Accelerator, which makes building a page as easy as drag and drop. All of this simplicity and connectivity will only continue to improve your customer experience while retaining complete security, simplicity, and governance for your digital marketing team. With fully integrated A/B and multivariate testing, personalization, online and offline campaign tracking, connected customer profiles, and rich analytics, you can track your users across channels securely and constantly improve their journey. Move them from investigation to advocate while tracking all aspects of engagement, including conversion. This 360-degree view of your customer can push and pull information to and from integrated systems. Ultimately, your marketing team will begin to personalize based off explicit or implicit behavior, with insights gained across all channels and based on site behavior. Simple to complex combinations can be created on the component-level content to drive next steps to conversion. Then deeper behavioral personalization can monitor user activity to personalize based on behavior. Beyond rules-based and behavioral personalization, you can drive your customers' journeys with marketing automation and powerful machine learning, supporting your organization as it grows in content and complexity. Secure, scalable, omni-channel, and a cohesive platform from the ground up. This is just the beginning for your replatform, upgrade, or lift and shift. With the enterprise power of Sitecore in the hands of your marketing team, you can continue to grow across the extended features like Sitecore Form Builder, Marketing Automation, Email, List Management, Federated Experience Manager, allowing you the ability to track goals and personalize on non-Sitecore sites, Print Experience Manager, a connected print tool bridging the gap between Sitecore CMS and InDesign for reusable content, and Sitecore Commerce 9, a deeply integrated commerce companion to Sitecore 9 CXP. All of this ultimately tied to Cortex machine learning to help drive testing and personalization without constant interaction of your growing team on a growing site. Sitecore 9 is a fully cloud-based solution, but is also currently available with several other options to fit your organization's strategic needs. Thank you again for your time, and we hope you enjoyed the intro to our new series. This high-level view is the entry to the pathway we will walk together as we journey into the details around personalization, goals and engagement value, content strategy, conversion rate optimization, campaigns, site search and testing. This series is made for those interested specifically in Sitecore, but will have valuable insights around strategy, research, and analysis. With Perficient, the platform is but a piece of the larger strategic puzzle, and why for us, end-to-end is just the beginning. Thanks again, and see you next episode.